Lifeboats. They are the hidden heroes of the sea. In this documentary, we will be showing the people behind the crew, what they do, how the operation runs, and the charity work that makes sure this lifeboat station keeps on saving lives at sea. Not many people know that since their launch back in 1824, over 130,000 people have been saved at sea, and that's due to this 24-hour search and rescue service. Retired lifeboat members have dedicated their lives to the service. Today we hope to learn about a former lifeguard and his past experiences in the crew and what it was like going out to sea day after day saving people's lives.
I was trying to join the fire brigade from when I left school, and I was told it was easier to get in the fire brigade if you've got some sort of like life-saving experience, which somebody suggested the RNLI, which is why I tried that. I think it was the training. Most of the time we went out on a Sunday and a Wednesday, and it was just nice being out on the water. It was fun. I liked the people that were on the lifeboat crew. I liked going out on the sea. It was exciting. I was just crew really, navigator, radio operator, first aider, drove the boat when I needed to. Probably recovering a body from the water. Probably the best memory was my training at the Lifeboat College in Poole. Probably the worst memory was recovering the body and the sort of after effects. Western Lifeboat generally gets called about 50 times a year. I remember on one Sunday in August we had 9 call-outs in one day, mostly people that were stuck in the mud or walking out in the mud too far. But we all have pagers that make a noise and send you a message, which is set off by, it was Swansea Coast Guard back then, but Swansea Coast Guard is shut, but they're the ones that decide when to launch the lifeboats. It was exciting. There's always a lot of adrenaline because you never know what is going to happen and what you're going to end up turning up to.
The Western Supermare lifeboat crew operated from the Burnbeck Pier since it opened back in 1867. They used this as their main base of operations until the pier became too derelict and too old to use anymore. This happened in December 2015. They are currently housed in a temporary base of operations. When they are needed, this crew go out onto the water and risk their lives to save yours. They do this out of their own kindness, as what they do is on a voluntary basis and they don't even get paid for it.
The RNLI is the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, and it's the charity that saves lives at sea. What role do I do? So I'm a shore crew member at Western Lifeboat Station, so my main roles and responsibilities are launch and recovery of the boat, whether that's for training or whether we're being called out on a job.
I'm the lifeboat operations manager here. I manage the crew and boats and authorise the launch of the boat, whether it's an exercise or a call, to make sure everything's done properly.
My role within the station is I'm trainee lifeboat crew. Also, I'm the lifeboat visits officer, so I arrange all the visits that come down to the station and do all the talks and show routes around to the station. So on the boat, I'm part of the boat crew. So when we get a shout or a job, train, I go out on the boat and perform any of the rescues that are required.
I'm part of the shore crew at the moment, and then hopefully training up for the shore crew next year. Every time the boat's launched, either for training or for a real life shout, then I'm part of the crew that actually gets the boat into the water and back safely.
My role in the lifeboat crew is shore member, so I'm responsible along with other shore crew members to launch and recover boats safely. When we get a call, probably one of the first here is get the boats ready, prepared for a launch, and then whilst the crew are getting prepared in dry suits, etc., we are starting to launch the boats onto the slipway.
It's very important because there's lots of difficulties in launching a lifeboat, and we always got to make sure that it's done safely. This is the main thing.
All roles within the lifeboat crew are important. We work as a team. Lifeboat crew members couldn't function without the shore crew, and it would be difficult, so we just function as a team.
You apply to become a volunteer. Once the application comes in, the application gets looked at and assessed by the rest of the crew, and you come down on a 3-month probation. Once the 3-month probation's up, then you get told if you're going to be part of the crew. If you gel with the crew, you work well with the crew, and if you don't gel or you don't work as a team, unfortunately you don't become part of the crew, you don't progress any further.
So I work not far from the station, and I can see the seafront from my office window, and I've seen the boat going out lots of times, and thought I'd quite like to give it a go myself.
Long history of sailing and being on the water, so now that I've settled in Weston-super-Mare, I've decided that this is the right place to join the crew.
It's run with a management team as far as Western goes. We all have our job specifics to carry out, and we are directed by our lifeboat operations manager.
It's run from headquarters in Poole in Dorset. That's the main head office, and they run all the procedures and everything from there. And we run it locally with the help of an inspector who comes around every couple of months to make sure everything's okay as far as we're concerned.
Obviously it's run through charitable donations and legacies that have left. Obviously we're a charity, we get no government funding, so any money that comes in through RI is through charitable donations or legacies through people's estates when they die.
The main reason we get called out to all sorts of different jobs, usually in the summer when we've got lots of tourists visiting that kind of don't know the state of the tide perhaps, or what the dangers are.
Various. It's very difficult to pin that one down. It could be people in distress, boats all broken down.
The main reason is, I would say, windsurfers, jet skis, kite surfers, people stuck in the mud.
Our lovely fundraisers, so we do various events and as a charity, so we rely on public donations and public goodwill basically. So anything we can do to raise money, we do.
It doesn't matter because we train to launch at night. Launching at night is a little bit more difficult through lack of light, but no, it's just the same really.
The main things I guess is the light. Makes it makes it much easier for us to launch in the morning. It tends to be quieter as well in the morning, so there's not so many people around to worry about.
They use this ramp for training every Wednesday night and Sunday morning. This is their main way of getting out to sea. So if something does happen, it would become complicated to do their jobs.
Are we from around this area? No, we're from the Midlands.
I live just down the road in Sutton. Yes, in Bristol area, yeah.
I'm from Bath. I'm from Bedford.
We're 12 miles away on the Somerset levels.
Living at Brooksbridge.
Yes.
Yeah, made donations, yeah.
I made a TV program called Saving Lives at Sea.
Yes.
I used to
Last week I was in Felixstowe and I went to visit the lifeboat. Earlier in the week I was at Southwold and we went to visit. We quite often put in boxes.
And Christmas cards.
some Christmas cards
Yeah.
we buy.
We have contributed to the RNL. We contribute every time we go to the coast.
We made that series called Saving Lives at Sea, and we're going to all the different stations doing all sorts of filming with them. So I've seen loads of their crews in action.
Saving a boat
Yeah.
that went out at Muddyfoot and it got stuck.
Yeah, right.
From Poole Harbour to the sea, there's a very fast stretch of water, and somebody went across and the lifeboat came out.
Yeah, and Mine was at Selsey Bill in West Sussex. They were going out to do a rescue. Yeah.
There was an incident over on Bream Down. There was 5 people in the mud, and we rang the Coast Guard from there and supervised it, told them where they were.
And didn't know much about them before I made that series, but after making it, yeah, it really opened my eyes to what they do, and got massive amounts of respect for what they do and the danger they put themselves in.
And the hovercraft come out from Burley and I think a fire engine and 2 teams
Came out to
and these people, they must have been strangers, but they were way up to their legs in mud, and we think we helped assisted to rescue them.
The RNLI is a good organisation for saving people that are at sea.
We think it's a well-run charitable trust.
It's a great organisation to be a part of. For instance, if we break something, we break an engine on the boat, within sort of 4 or 5 hours we've either got a replacement engine or a replacement boat.
It's like a family. We're all sort of a family. We all help each other out. And as I said earlier, it's quite a sociable setup.
Well, they save a lot of people's lives, don't they?
They should be funded, but they're not.
Yes, they should be publicly funded, I think. Yeah.
I think that as you made a phone call, they'd be there for you one way or the other, which is good.
They do a marvellous job. I've been watching the television series Saving Lives at Sea and found it very, very interesting.
We hope that from this film you've learnt something new today about the lifeboats and the work they do. If you'd like to support this self-funded charity, please donate to help their cause using the links on screen now.